Hey everyone, RRollergod here, and I'm doing a video today that I've been meaning to do for a while. If you go through some of the YouTube DJ community videos and you look through the comments, some of the new guys, they don't know the lighting lingo. So this whole video is going to go over lighting lingo. By that I mean the fancy names like gobos and moving heads and scanners and par cans and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with something that's very, very simple, a color wheel. Color wheel is basically a disc that goes into intelligent lighting, and it has either pieces of glass or plastic that filters out all the light except for that color, and it produces that light on a wall. Very simple. Now usually they're going in tandem with something called a gobo wheel. A gobo wheel has gobos inside of it, and a gobo is either a piece of metal or a piece of plastic that blocks out light so it shines a pattern on a wall. I don't have any lights that have either of these, but I'm sure you can search them up on YouTube and find more information on stuff like this. But a gobo, it can be anything from a star to a flame to a circle to a line, or it could be any shape that you want the light to create. And now, these are all inside of something called either a gobo projector, a scanner, or a mobile moving head, or something like that. But usually, I'm going to start out with something very basic called a gobo projector. Now, a gobo projector is made by many different companies. I know Martin, Elation, American DJ sometimes, depending on what line you look for. Mainly the bigger lines, they start their gobo projector out, and they use that gobo projector for every single light moving out. But a gobo projector has a color wheel and a gobo wheel. Sometimes the color in the gobo wheel is combined where it's only a fixed color for that gobo. So you have to be careful about those. Sometimes you definitely want to make sure you have separate gobo and color wheels so you don't have to have just one color for the circle. Maybe you can only have a pink circle or something. But if you have separate wheels, you could have like a green wheel or something. Now, a gobo projector usually is a housing that has either a discharge bulb, a 200 or 100 watt halogen, an LED, or any kind of light source. It shines it through the color wheel and the gobo wheel, and it goes through an optical system, and it produces an image on a wall. Now, a gobo projector sometimes is called other things. Right now I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but sometimes you even get the smaller ones that are kind of cheap, and they're only used to produce monograms onto a wall. Now, there's another name for these things, but I can't think of it right now. Now, moving on, a scanner is taking a gobo projector, mounting it vertically, and then having a motor stepper system that's connected to a mirror, and the gobo projector projects this shape onto the mirror, and the mirror moves thanks to the motors, and can move this image onto the wall. Now, stepper motors are motors that either move XY, and that's pretty much it. In the XY movement makes the gobo go up, down, left, right, and that kind of thing. Right now, I'm sorry, I'm doing this off the top of my head right here, and I should have notes, but work with me here. And so, a scanner is taking the gobo projector and it has a mirror on it, and it uses the mirror to project the image on the wall. Now, moving on to much more higher end lighting, something called moving heads, or even sometimes called moving yokes, or something like that, or movers. Movers are basically taking the gobo projector and then mounting it onto a base that has massive motors on it, and instead of having a mirror project the image on the wall, it uses motors to actually move the gobo projector into positions that you'd wish. Martin makes moving heads, American DJ makes moving heads, I mean, Elation, and there's countless companies that make these, but moving heads are like the cream of the crop. They're the most expensive light that you could possibly buy, as opposed to maybe I'm thinking there's some kind of high-end DLP thing, but that's a whole different thing. Moving heads, like I said, are taking a gobo projector, putting them on a dualing arm, sometimes single arm, but I don't see single arm ones anymore. But by arm, what I mean is a housing that comes up, grabs the gobo projector, and it aims it where you want it. Now, none of these lights I have personally because I don't have that kind of money, but I'm sure you could search up these names somewhere and you'd get the idea. Now, moving heads, like I said, they can have single or double arms. Double arms meaning there's two housings that grab up and grab the projector. And I haven't seen any single arms recently come out because they're not as reliable, but whatever. Now, moving on, lastly, is probably something that you may be familiar with, but it's something called par cans. Par cans don't mean cans stuck in the ground on the golf course and you make par in them or whatever, but whatever. Par cans are kind of like my juniors over here. I can't grab one right now because they're kind of connected to the T-bar. But it's either a halogen or LED can that produces wash lighting. Wash lighting being something that's right behind me. I have my color strips projecting wash lighting. There's no defined shape like the Gobo wheel would produce. And it just produces a color on the wall. It just washes it with a color as opposed to, like I said, a defined image. Very simple. Now, one other thing that may be being added to lighting lingo is a color strip, a bar, an LED bar, something like that. Like I have here, my color strips, gotta be careful, as opposed to a par can being a really small or maybe rather large circular can that produces light. Color strips are being much more versatile nowadays, where you could put these in a lot more places and produce light patterns that you never would think of before. And plus, these lights kind of have a chase array pattern that's kind of nice. And oh, saved it. Okay, hang on. Anyway, they kind of do like a runway effect, and it's kind of nice. So I'm gonna say that, yeah, that's definitely something that some people may want to know nowadays for a term if they're shopping and they want to look for a certain like color bars of some sort. And there's a megapixel, megabar, color strip, that kind of stuff. I gotta be quick here, I'm running out of time. But lastly, something that a lot of mobile DJs need to get used to, spin and pukes. One light that I definitely won't be buying, the only one I have technically is a Revo 3. Spin and pukes would be your aggressors, your vertigos, your tri-balls, and anything that has a very bright light in it, or LEDs nowadays. I consider the Revo series spin and puke, but it only produces one pattern that spins around the room and it makes you hurl sometimes. But personally, I find that effect kind of annoying nowadays since everyone uses it. Therefore, I'm just admit it, I'm only buying wash lighting moving heads from now on. But a spin and puke, I don't have a vertigo. Ask Jeff to see one or something. But spin and pukes basically are everything that's not anything else I've listed in this video. I hope I've been help to you guys. If you have any other questions, drop them right below. I may link to a few other videos that could be helpful with your lingo. But otherwise, guys, practice and enjoy.